welcome to the meeting. Thanks for coming. We're in Bristol today, and we've got some members from Bristol here. We've been out leafleting today, targeting a specific ward. We're going to hopefully contest this May, and this is what it's all about, local elections. National Housing Party United Kingdom was set up to take part in local elections. Now, one of our main policies of why we created this party is to exit the 1951 UN Refugee Convention. I'm going to give you a little update on how this campaign is going, because there's been some quite interesting developments recently. So for me personally, we have to go back to 2016, and I was in the BNP, and I was campaigning in 2016 with the leadership of the BNP, telling them there's people coming across the channel in dinghies, and this is how they're getting into the country. They're using the 1951 UN Refugee Convention to gain access to our country, and this is what has been happening until this day today. So I've been campaigning on this issue for 7 years at least now, on this particular issue. I've been campaigning against permanent settlement immigration since 2012, and so 2016 we was campaigning for it. Fast forward to 2018, 2019, John.lawwrence joined the campaign. We had the banner, exit the UN 1951 Refugee Convention banner, and we did an epic banner drop on Blackwall Tunnel, got into about 8 newspapers, and we also went to the Conservative Party conference, which John Lawrence organised. We went back to Dover twice, done 2 demos in Dover with this banner. So we've been campaigning to leave this convention because this is the problem. This is why they are flooding across the channel, because they know they are not going to be treated as criminals, and they know they're going to be put in a hotel, because the government, doesn't matter what anyone says, what they are, the government are treating them as asylum seekers, and that is the reality of what is going on. This is why we have to campaign to leave this convention, and this is why we are called the National Housing Party, because they're putting all these people, like Callum said, it's disgusting, and they're putting these people in housing before our own people. So, we've been on Twitter for about a year now with the party name, and we've been making a lot of ripples, so to speak. And a year ago, GB News would not even mention the 1951 UN Refugee Convention. They wouldn't even mention it. Now they are openly talking about it, and it is because of our campaign. I'm continually copying in Patrick Christie's, Dan Wootton, Michelle Dewberry, Nigel Farage, Mark Stein. Just every day I'm copying them in. Exit the United Nations Refugee Convention. This is the only solution. So you've got Suella Braverman. Suella Braverman is the Home Secretary. She's got the most legal power in this country. And she says, practically every day, all the people coming across the channel are illegals. So she's the most powerful woman in the country legally. How many has she put in prison if they're all criminals? 0. They keep calling the people organising the boats, these people traffickers, they're criminals. Well, hold on a minute, you're giving all the people in their boats asylum. So if it's not illegal to claim asylum, how can the boat people organising the boats be criminals? It's a complete mess, and the elephant in the room is the United Nations Refugee Convention. So you got Patrick Christie literally the other day saying, there's no housing. He was actually giving examples of British people with children waiting for flats for years, and they're putting the refugees in front of them for housing. Now this is a big development, because like I said, I've been harassing them for a long time, and now they're actually talking about it. The National Housing Party United Kingdom, we're on level 3. of the political sphere, in my opinion. On the top, you've got the Lib Lab Con, total scum. On the second tier, you've got UKIP, Reform, Heritage, who all campaign for more immigration and more refugees into this country. And then on the third tier, National Housing Party, who want a complete halt to refugees and permanent settlement immigration. We've also got the British Democrats, who's on the same level, similar, practically identical policies. So, we're on the third tier. We're trying to pressure the parties above us, UKIP, Heritage, Reform. Now, Reform and UKIP have both got in their manifesto exit the 1951 UN Refugee Convention, which is a development. Unfortunately, if you read down their manifestos, it then says, but we will accept true refugees. So, what is a true refugee? You know, there's no housing, there's over 1 million people on social housing waiting lists, and UKIP and Reform still want more refugees into the country because they're too scared to say it. They don't want to hurt the feelings. Whereas myself, John.lawwrence, Paul Rimmer, Callum, we're not scared to hurt people's feelings because we're more worried about the British people's feelings.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, come and join us. We speak the truth. We're not scared to say the truth. No more refugees for citizenship or housing in the UK. That is what we stand for. No more permanent settlement immigration. We're full up. It's an epidemic, and they are now talking about the Refugee Convention on GB News, which I think is a big part of our pressure of non-stop talking about it. So, like I say, we had the banner before, it went all around the country. I'll never forget, I was on a train coming back from the Conservative conference when I went up to see John and Arlene. And when I came, we had the banner out, and all the MPs walking in could see our banner, exit the 1951 UN Refugee Convention. 2 weeks after that conference, David MS was murdered by someone who entered our country as a refugee family. And I remember telling the young Conservatives on that train, this is a massive issue in Dover, and they were like, it's not that important. Well, look at the state of the country. And so what I'm trying to say is our campaign has actually made a difference. I could say about 6 different parties have now got in their manifesto exit the 1951 UN Refugee Convention, because that is what is attracting them all here. The whole world wants to come here because they think, well, if I can pretend to be a refugee, I'm going to get a passport and a house. And that's exactly what is happening. That's why it's a crisis. So I think we're doing really well with that issue, and what I'm trying to say is we've got to carry on talking about it and campaigning for it, because 140,000 people in hotels, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 1 million homeless. What else can they say? Why don't they just say we can't take any more people? They're incapable of saying it. But we are not. Come and join us. Help the campaign. If you want to stand in local elections, please step forward. We need people leafleting. We need donations. We're standing up and doing something. There's a lot of people moaning on the internet and then they don't actually do anything themselves. We're doing it, and we'd love to you to come forward and speak to us. So also, although our policy, we got firm but fair policies. We want a complete halt to permanent settlement immigration. We don't want to give any more refugees citizenship or housing. However, we as a party are never going to have a repatriation policy, so to speak. Any legally settled migrants, we're never going to have a policy to remove them from the country. Whereas you get certain people in these circles who seem to want that, which is fair enough. If that's their opinion, that's fair enough, but that's never going to be our policy. We want to educate the public that immigration has been a mistake for the country, and we've had far too much, and we need to educate the public that giving out more British passports to people who are not British is not the correct thing to do. So that's never going to be one of our policies. And also, I'm just going to touch on the anti-white agenda. Everyone must have heard of that term, and this persecution of white people openly in the media. And what it basically stems from is, for example, if you had a political party and that political party wanted to be an all-white British political party, they should be allowed to do that, right? That's not our party, that's not our policy, obviously, and it will never be our policy, but there should be a party allowed to cater for that. Because if you say that is not allowed, you are saying white people are not allowed, and that is the problem. We all know there's the Black Policemen's Association, there's the Asian Lawyers Association, there's the Somalians Women's Housing Association. Every single charity for every single ethnic group apart from the white British. And as I said, it all stems from them saying, you can't have a party for, I think you should be able to have a party for black people if you want to do that. That's what you call freedom. But what they are doing is they're trying to force everyone to mix, and this is destined for a disaster. So, as I'll say again, the reason we got the anti-white agenda is because they have basically made it illegal to have a white British group identity, and it's just so obvious that they basically criminalised being white. That's what they've done, and I just can't understand that all these charities are allowed to be open for all these different ethnic groups, but you can't do it for a white British group. And like in London, Birmingham, Leicester, Luton, white British people are the minority. So when are they going to allow them to have a charity to cater for their needs, like all these other groups, like I said? So that's one of our things in our party. We want to we want equality, basically. We want equality for everyone. We want white people to be treated the same as everybody else, because as we know, in the police force, no white heterosexual males can apply for jobs. The fire brigade, no white heterosexuals can sometimes apply for the job. The BBC, no white heterosexual males. The RAF recently, no white heterosexual male. This is a persecution, and it's like watching a film, but it's reality. This is really what is going on. So our party is against this. We're against the anti-white agenda. Like I said, we just want equality. We just want white people to be treated the same as black people, as Asian people, as Muslim people, whatever. And there's also an anti-Christian agenda as well. You've got the leadership for the Scottish National Party going on. I'm no fan of the Scottish National Party. I'm a unionist. We're a unionist party. But a Christian woman is about to contest the leadership role, and she's being attacked relentlessly because of her Christian beliefs about sex outside of marriage and things like that. And they're saying it quite a lot on GB News that they're not really attacking Hamza Youssef, who's also contesting this position in the party, the leader's role. And apparently he, on a vital vote on gay marriage, he very conveniently abstained from the vote, so he didn't have to declare how he was going to vote on gay marriage. So, we're being persecuted left, right and centre. John's outlined it, Callan's outlined it tonight, and we're fighting back. And if you want to fight back, come and join the National Housing Party United Kingdom. Thank you very much.